Hi, I'm Sam Danielson.
Hi, I'm Ray Coville.
Hi, I'm Drew Pizarro, and we'll be showing you how to MIG weld.
These are your proper PPEs for MIG welding. You have to have your long sleeves and your long pants. You have to have your glasses and your gloves, and you have to have your helmet.
Alright, basic rules of the shop are no horseplay. You don't want to be messing around with someone while they're welding or something or using the grinder because it could cause harm to you or the other person. And another one is safety glasses. Safety glasses are always stressed while you're in the shop. And another one is always put your tools away where you found them. Mr. Bearhill doesn't like when tools are left out, and it's always the right thing to just put them back where you found them. And also, always wear closed-toed shoes in the shop. You don't want to be wearing flip-flops or slides because it could hurt your toes.
So these are your leather welding gloves that you are going to want to use when you are MIG welding, stick welding, and even TIG welding, just whatever. As you can see, they have no holes in them or anything, and you still don't want to pick up like super hot metal or anything, or else your gloves will end up getting burnt like this, and that'll happen. But it's still that super hot metal, which will do that to your glove, but you can still pick up warm objects and stuff with these that will keep your hands safe.
Alright, so there are two types of welding helmets. This one is your auto darkening, and for auto darkening there are two types. There's variable and fixed. So this one's fixed because you set the shade and it goes to that exact shade when the arc starts. But with variable, the arc intensity changes the dim of the helmet. So there are different things you can adjust on your helmet. Here, if you need it tightened on your head more or loosened, you push down and twist the desired way. And on the inside, we have our sensitivity knob. So how sensitive it is to the arc and when it starts going dark. And here is the shade. So usually it's around 10. That's a nice shade for welding, but it can go all the way up to 12 and all the way down to 8. And then we have a slow delay. So then if you want it to delayed when you start your arc, or fast. And on this one, we have it on fast. So this is your straight black helmet. This one does not dim. Once you put it down, it's just straight black, as you can see through the thing. And so you're gonna have to keep it on until you're fully ready to start the weld, then you put it down. But yeah.
How would you adjust the helmet?
Right here is just for your head, and then there's no auto dimming, so it's nothing for that part. Alright, so when your helmet, your glass right here gets dirty, and you want to clean it for better vision, you're going to want to take a paper towel here, come over to the handy dandy sink, get the water flowing a little bit, get it a little bit wet. It's a little too wet, but I mean, it works. Then you're going to want to wipe it off nice and clean. And sometimes that doesn't do the full job, so you need to take this off and get the inside of the plastic.
Alright, so I'm going to show you what you do when you get your hands dirty from metal or something and you want to go wash them. But first, we need to put on our safety glasses before we go into the shop. Then you want to come over to the sink right here, and you can wash your hands, and there's soap right there. And if something ever happens, here's an eye wash station as well. Here's your paper towels. And then another place is you can come into the bathroom and you can wash your hands here or here. For MIG welding, you can run either argon and CO2 or straight CO2. Argon CO2 mix is more expensive and gives you a cleaner weld, but straight CO2 will give you more penetration. The gray bottles are straight CO2 and the brown is argon. CO2 mix On this one, we are running straight CO2. On the left of our regulator, we have the amount of gas coming out and going into the weld. And on the right is the pressure that is in the bottle.
The inside of a MiG machine is simple. There's a spindle to hold the roll of wire. A spring-loaded nut at the end should be just tightened enough so the spool stops when the drive rolls stop. Drive rolls are made for wire diameter. There's different wire sizes and different drive roll sizes. The gun contains a liner for the welding wire control wires connected to the trigger. At the end, there is an adapter, contact tip, and a thread cover to protect adapter threads. Here are your four most common types of welding positions. You have your butt weld, which is a flat weld. You have your lap, which is a 90-degree angle weld. You have your T, which gives you two 90-degree angle welds. And then you have your corner weld, which is an upside-down 90-degree weld. As you can see right here, this is a diagram of what the different beads will look like. A is the proper wire feed and voltage, and the other ones are different problems you might have, but you would want to have A for a nice clean weld. And if you have any other ones, you might want to stop and check.
Make sure that this is plugged in. Make sure it's tight. Then you come over to the machine and you gotta open it, make sure everything's good. Make sure these knobs are tight. And make sure you want to come in here and you're gonna find, say we're gonna weld 1/4 inch and we have 3.35 wire, so we're gonna go over and we want to set it to about 320 wire speed, and it says 22 volts. So you're gonna come over to the machine, come up to 320.
Nobody will be able to hear that.
And you're gonna want to set it to, it said 21 to 22. You're gonna want to make sure that you have a good ground. I'd prefer to put it on the actual piece you're welding, but in case it's in a difficult spot, just find some metal that it's contacted to nearby. You're gonna want to make sure you have a clean cone in here. It gets a lot of slag in here a lot, and then it'll mess up and it won't let the gas come through. You're gonna want to make sure that's nice and clean. That's pretty good. And then you're gonna want to make sure this is on. If this is not on, then this will not stay on. And if it's on backwards, then the gas will not come out of these holes and you will get bad welds. For welding, you want to get your metal as clean as you can. This is not a very good example. This is pretty rusty. You should grind it before, grind both surfaces before welding. But this is what we have right now.
You clean your material with MiG? And the answer is, yeah, I really like to clean my material with short-circuiting MiG. Hopefully this will come out pretty nice too. MiG and TIG we like to clean. Stick welding, we can get through some of this MiG, mill scale. Flux core, same thing, but your weld goes faster, it wets into the parent metal better if the mill scale is off of there. So, and it doesn't take long to clean. We could do a whole video on how to clean and prep.
Jeez.
Okay. Start the video now.
Okay, this is what happens sometimes. You weld the tip on these tips and then the wire won't not come out, so you're gonna have to bring it over to the grinder and grind it over.
You need suppliers?
Yeah.
Grab suppliers.
Can I use my mask as a shield? I don't have to just bury it. No, that'll down.
Screw
Yeah,
it.
you can go.
I'm gonna turn it on first. As you can see, we ground off the weld, and now all we got to do is stick some wire through there to get the hole open again.
Alright, so when you want to practice your MIG welding and you need metal to weld on, there's not always just scrap metal in the shop, so you can come out here and most of the time you'll see scrap metal just laying around, and you'll be able to take something and to MIG weld on. So let's see over here. Some of these pieces are a lot bigger, so you'll have to cut with a cutting torch if you want to use it like this. You could cut some stuff out, or over here, you could cut that section out to weld on. And over here, there's also some stuff, but not too much. That's most of your scrap metal. And let's find some. All right, so when you come over here, you can find your scrap metal like a piece just like this, which isn't too big but isn't too small, like something like that. You'd have to cut, and you're gonna wanna take it in the shop before you weld on it, and you're gonna wanna clean it with a wire brush and stuff, because as you can see, it is pretty dirty, and you don't wanna weld on something that's super dirty. All right, so now that you're in the shop and you have your metal, you're gonna want to have your wire brush, clean it before you weld, and you just want to scrub it to get all the stuff off. As you can see, it's cleaner. And
Put a helmet on my hand. I've done that. He's not.
When you're welding, you want to go in a circular motion back towards your weld puddle, so then you get a nice, clean, and thick weld. Alright, so these are the advantages of MIG welding. One of the advantages is you can weld with more speed. The other advantage is you can weld thin but strong welds. Another is there's no flux that is required, and it is extremely flexible. Another is gives you a clear view of weld pool, and there's longer uninterrupted welds. So when you finish MIG welding, you're going to want to turn the machine off. Then you're going to want to come over here, close the gas, make sure the gas is all the way closed and tight. And then you're going to want to coil up your stuff like this. About like yay, like that. Grab this. That, and then you don't want to leave any hot metal that you just welded on here, that way nobody gets burnt, and then you're good.
Yan po ang cutting. Magandang handle ang gamit.
I'm Ray.
Thanks for watching our video. We hope you learned how to MIG and all the safety about it.
And learn how to set it up, clean it up, and just, that's it.